Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. Another event that I did see was the Who's Live Anyway, or Who's Live Is It Anyway? The Whose Line Is It Anyway, live touring performance show act, which my wife especially has been a fan of Whose Line Is It Anyway for years, decades. I really didn't start watching until I met her about 10 years ago. I knew about it. I knew some of the cast members, Ryan Stiles from like Two and a Half Men, and he was on the Drew Carey show, I believe, and of course Drew Carey. But then, of course, it went away and then came back, and in that duration of time, Drew Carey left and went to, become the host of The Price Is Right, and Wayne Brady had gone on to be the host of Let's Make a Deal. But neither of those two ever did a touring thing. I've seen Wayne Brady tour live with Jonathan, I forget his last name, Jonathan Richman, I forget his name. But it wasn't Wayne, of course, and it wasn't Drew anymore, and it wasn't even Aisha Tyler, who's the new host in the revival that's on the CW version. And it's not even Colin Mockery. So a lot of the primary veteran cast of characters are not on this tour, other than Ryan Stiles. Then some of the regular, subs of the fourth members, the fourth represents comedians, improv people. Greg Proops and Jeff Davis especially were also involved. And then Joel Murray, who he probably has been on Whose Line Is It Anyway? I haven't never seen him, but I know him from like God Bless America, and he's had roles. He's a Murray brother. He's brother with Bill and Brian Doyle and John, who I know all of their work as well too. I'm a fan of all of their work. And I'll say this, while I like Joel Murray, I like some of the stuff he did at that performance. Among the four of them, I think I didn't get as much out of him as the rest of the other three, but he still was good enough. He was funny enough at times, but we saw Wayne Brady live with Jonathan a few years ago. They did like the bit where they involved the audience members and they interview the couple on their first date and stuff. So some of the same bits are done, and some of the same bits on the show where they do the whole late night compilation CD ad, and then they get people to sing. They get Jeff Davis to do the vocals and Wayne to do the vocals of certain songs. But it still worked, it's still funny. There was a one guy and her husband, or her wife, his wife was brought on stage, and they asked, of course, where they worked, and the guy was a manager at an Applebee's, so they kept on riffing on Applebee's. It was pretty good. And we did get to meet, we went back outside at the Fitzgerald Theater in St. Paul, and we did get to meet Ryan Stiles and Jeff Davis. I even mentioned the whole thing to Jeff Davis, but my wife kind of sees him as like her other husband or one of her other husbands, but he's like, I'll take it. But so that was kind of neat to just see them in person, really nice guys. It was a really good diversion because of all the stress we've been dealing with recently with my mother-in-law and my wife's some other things too. It's just we needed a break, Going to see Mickey Dolenz on Saturday in Madison will be another break, although that's also going to be kind of emotionally draining for my wife, especially just because it's a tribute and memorial in some ways to the other monkeys, including Nesmith, of course, Michael Nesmith. But I'm really glad we went. We might go again. As much as it wasn't exactly cheap comparison with inflation, of course. And the issue I had with buying the tickets, which was screwed up, we bought them kind of much after they went on sale, but they wouldn't let us buy two tickets together online through AXS.com. Don't get it. Screwed up. Some weird conspiracy to make sure they sell tickets. I don't know. I went down. The only place we could buy them in person was actually at the the depot rather, next to the entry in all the way in Minneapolis. I went down on a Friday night right before the Rick Wakeman show that I did not go to, which was down the street. And I bought the tickets that way. That way I didn't have to pay as much in fees, and I could buy just two tickets. But, yeah, I know. Who's Live in Anyway? They're not coming here scheduled right now the rest of the year, but I would definitely go again. It was, as much as it's kind of it is a lot of the same type of bits, and, yeah, it's just kind of, it's like, it works. It still works. They can still come up with spontaneous, improvised references, lines, jokes, little gags, sounds, and everything like that. One thing I did learn is if, they have the different audience members they involve, if we were ever going to get actually actively, interactively involved, we really would have to buy the more expensive seats to get up near the front, which I'm not sure we're going to ever do that. But yeah, we didn't have a shot because we were in the balcony in the back. So, and I wasn't yelling stuff out anyway because I didn't really bother. I had my mask on and everything like that. So, but yeah, so that was great. It was especially with just going through a lot of crap of late. I mean, it was something. I mean, these other concerts hopefully will give us a break, But yeah, have you ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? Are there any other like stand-up comedians you want to go see? We're gonna probably go see Gabriel Iglesias, also known as Fluffy, probably in August if we can. I mean, Kevin Hart's coming, and I mean, I don't see a lot of live comedy. I'd like to see more. We saw Trevor Noah a few years ago. It's kind of a diversion. It's an alternative to seeing live music or even live sports at some point, or even a movie. It's live, someone doing live performances, and those guys are really good at it. They've been doing it for decades. I mean, I also didn't learn. I was looking at Jeff Davis's IMDb page. He was in, among other things, he kind of looks like Michael Ian Black to me, but I think they just should get Michael Ian Black on this if they never have. But he's part of a different comedy group. But he was in the Yacht Rock parody from Hollywood Steve. I didn't realize he played David Lee Roth of all people in one episode. So that was like 2007. And Drew Carey actually appears in that same episode, so I can understand why both him and Drew were in it. So, I mean, you can watch. If you've never seen Yacht Rock, you need to. I mean, if you have any kind of just sense of humor and like music, and if you have any appreciation for, 70s music especially, or early 80s music, it's hilarious. They're like these little short, like 6 to 10 minute little fictional parody stories of this history of yacht rock or smooth music or soft rock. Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, the Doobie Brothers, Toto. And of course they make the Tall and Oates joke in the one episode where they're the bad guys, which is funny. So, but yeah, it's Jeff Davis. I don't know. Maybe some of the other people. Maybe Steve, whatever his name is. I think his name is HU. Maybe he could be involved with Whose Line at some point, because he's done a few other things. He did a remake of Footloose, I guess, like a shot-by-shot remake, kind of like that Raiders of the Lost Ark thing, but slightly more professional, but still very organic looking. I think it's online. I'm not a huge fan of Footloose, but just the fact that he did it and the style makes me curious. Although it's an hour and a half, if it doesn't, it doesn't actually hold up as much. I mean, almost I think I should watch Footloose first and then watch it. I don't know. I like Footloose. I like some Kevin Bacon movies. And John Lithgow's in it and some other people, but I haven't seen it in ages. So, anyway, like I said, have you seen Who's Live in It Anyway? What do you think? Or are you planning on? I'd love to know. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and see you next time.